and so I won that election to be the candidate. And whilst I realised that this was not going to be a target seat, it's not going to have the millions of pounds thrown at it that Susan Hall's campaign in London, for instance, has and is being funded by, I did expect, we're going up against a national figure like Andy Burnham. I did expect that the Tory party would at least put some resources into my campaign so that we could at least put a decent fight in and make sure that there was some form of democratic accountability for Labour and Andy Burnham.
So what sort of resources did the Conservatives give you, if any?
So I haven't had a single pound of them towards any sort of campaign activities. They did agree to fund the booklet, which it goes out to all electors, which is funded primarily by the Electoral Commission. The £5,000 is a token contribution. And I'll be honest with you, the way that money was offered to me to fund the booklet was that I should be grateful to receive it, when in reality, had the party that's in power not funded the booklet page in the electoral booklet at an election like this, it would have just been a joke for them. So there was no way they weren't going to fund the booklet. So in reality, they haven't given me a single pound towards my campaign, despite me pleading. I pleaded to the party chairman, I pleaded to the Prime Minister, and I even got a reply from the Prime Minister only a few days ago that said, "Thank you very much for your letter. Good luck with your campaign."
You say they didn't give you a single pound, and now you've deflected to Reform UK. How much will they give you towards your campaign?
So Reform UK have not got the resources of the Conservative Party. I think everyone would recognise that, but they've already said that they're willing to fund the booklet. They're willing to fund the deposit, which you may or may not get the deposit back depending on the number of votes you've got. And they're willing to have a look at putting some money in for my campaign fund. That's yet to be discussed. But I think in terms of, they've been very willing, very forthcoming, very quickly, and that's something that the Conservative Party have had months and months to do, and they still never managed it.
And 2 or 3 days ago, you were with the head of the 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady, and last month you were out in Altrincham with the deputy chairman of the Conservative Party. I mean, do you think that throughout your campaign, have you been getting sort of a harsher response from them as it went along, or have you always been in this sticky position?
No, I mean, in terms of Sir Graham Brady, is a very pleasant guy, and very likeable, and I've certainly not got anything bad to say about him. What I'm really talking about is the party hierarchy, CCHQ, Richard Holden, and all those people who make the decisions around which candidates get support and funding. So it's not them, it's not Jack Lopresti, another guy I like, very likeable person and a decent man.
And you're also running for a council seat in Brooklands. Are you still going to be running as a councillor there, or are you just going to pull that back as well?
Don't know on that one, I'll be honest with you. I put a lot of work in there, and it is my home ward, so we'll see what happens there.
Would you ever consider running as Reform there as well?
Yes, I mean, I think I'm certainly not going to be standing for the Conservative Party anywhere, anytime soon, if ever.
How many votes do you think you'll get, or what percentage of the share votes do you think you'll get?
Well, I mean, this is something that I've noticed during the campaign as the Conservative candidate, is the amount of people who are talking about reform on our social media, in the comments. I mean, you've got Nick Buckley, who is a type of reform-like candidate, but part of his kind of narrative is the fact that he's never been a member of a party, he's not beholden to a party, etc., etc. And reform as a party, it's about being part of a team who have a vision of how the country should be run.
And when I met you, you weren't as right-leaning as a lot of Conservatives. So, is your ideology the same as Reform UK?
Well, I mean, I don't know why you say that actually, because I think I look at myself compared to a lot of my former colleagues and peers. I think I am more on the right of the kind of spectrum within the Conservative Party when I was put with them, and my politics haven't changed one iota. I would say that Reform UK is now the home of conservatism, and that the Conservative Party is now more akin to Tony Blair's New Labour or the Liberal Democrats. They're a social democratic party somewhere right in the centre, maybe to the left slightly.
And finally, what do you think of Richard Tice?
Well, I spoke to Richard last night on the phone, and he's exactly in person, one-on-one, as he is publicly. He comes across very well, very sincere, very switched on, and very approachable.
Well, best of luck with your campaign, Dan.
Thank you, Bill, and I hope we speak to you again in future.